What's going on, everybody? We're back. It's your friend Will. We're taking a little break here on the memory lapse from the 18-land deck madness to play a little bit of a traditional control deck that might also be good in best of one. I think as long as we dodge, if we do a good job of dodging, I'm actually gonna do this. If we do a good job of dodging the pure, other pure control decks, which we really have not come up against very frequently, I think we have a decent shot of doing well, because we're just overloading on creature control stuff here, stuff that gains life. I decided to do a 3-3 split because the cast down's just way better against all the Drakes in the format right now. And, it's still fine against the red decks and stuff. So, let's see. 2, 4, 4, 5, 28, 26. Or so it's 26 lands. Okay, perfect. Yep. So this is the list. It's fairly stock. And let's hope that we can get some wins with it. We have not played control in a while. I want to thank everybody, of course, for hanging out, watching the videos. If you're new or new-ish to the channel, go ahead and please, if you're enjoying the content, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm always interested in hearing from you all. Got some very nice viewers who leave a lot of kind comments, and viewers who also give me ideas for places where I've maybe misplayed or cards I should consider. All of that is awesome. So I guess we're going to keep because we have 26 land. Interesting that it gave us a 2-land hand, which means that the other hand that was dealt was either a 1 or 0. But not ideal, only 2 lands. We really want to be keeping 3 or 4 lands with this deck. And then using our Search for Azcanta or Chemister's Insight to power through. Alright, but this 2-land hand between Syncopate, Moment of Craving, and Cast Down rates to be okay. So if we miss 1 or maybe 2 land drops, we'll be okay, but if we keep missing after that, I think we're in a pretty bad spot. Let's go ahead and Syncopate this. Make use of these while we can. I guess we'll save the other Syncopate for turn 4. When they would potentially have a Phoenix. So we played this tapped, and we're probably just going to play the Moment of Craving or the Cast Down here, depending on what they do. We'll take the 1 damage. And this is all they got. At the end of their turn, we'll cast one Moment of Craving, the Lava Runner. Little vampire card here. Throw back to like Lorwyn block when instants had creature types. Okay. So they traded some mana efficiency there for, I guess they figured that 3 damage is only going to go to our face ever, right? The way that we're playing, so wise enough to use it for cheap. Yep, and here's the one that we want to Syncopate. Actually, sabotaging is just as good, and that lets us make sure that we get a land next turn, which we want. Done. Even in the plains, which is great. And we'll take our 1 damage like a gentleman. And our opponent's down to 2 cards. Key 2 Lava Runner is fine. And we'll Insight. And here is where like we more or less have turned the corner with this deck. We'll wait on Teferi now. We'll probably use this cast down to clear something out so that the Teferi has a little more breathing room. Wizard's Lightning is okay. We can take the 3. Save ourselves 2 damage here. It's actually a pretty big difference between taking 3 and taking 1 there. And start going to town with the Teferi. So even if they play like something that we can't counter here with Syncopate, they'll probably scoop to this, right? I was gonna say, even if they play something we can't counter, we have like the Vraska Contempt to clean it up. Oh, they're sticking with it. Maybe they're deep into a run and trying to get to like 5, 6, or 7 wins. Alright, they're scooping now. They just had to confirm that I knew how to plus the Teferi again. Cool, pretty quick. Pretty quick and more or less exactly how we want these games to go. They played little stuff, we had cheap answers, and then we, you know, drew cards, and they didn't. Not always how those control against aggro matchups go. But the way that our deck is kind of designed, it's built to interact early, to the disadvantage of being a lot worse against slower decks, other blue decks probably. The Moment of Craving does hit Goblin Electromancer at least in that type of matchup. Or I guess it's like not inconceivable that 2 of them could combine to hit a Drake also. All right, match number 2. I guess we're gonna keep this and hope that we find another blue source. And if not, we have these cast downs in the meantime. Oh, no play. So that makes me think that our opponent's on red-blue rather than mono-red. So mono-red decks almost always have a turn 1 play. Oh, maybe they are mono-red and they just have a slow draw. Steamkin. Yep, so we'll kill this because this just represents a lot of damage and can do some busted things. Nice. It's a great draw for us. Now we have Sinister Sabotage online. And Vraska's Contempt for the turn after as well. Yep. So we're going to use the Sabotage here because we want to set up our draw. Ritual of Soot. This is probably okay. As a good, like, backup plan if they play Frenzy and they just spit a bunch of stuff out. Or if they just play 3/1 drops here, some weird line like that. Risk factor resolves. And we're going to take the damage. And they shock us, which is fine. So now, depending on what they play, we're going to decide between interacting with them or drawing. And most likely we're just going to draw. Wow. Makes me wish I had pushed that Ritual of Soot now. Jaya Ballard. We're going to let that resolve, and we're going to just Vraska's Contempt it to gain life. So I don't think there's too much that they can do with it this turn. She can make mana, and they can play the risk factor, but that's about it. Ooh, I'm going to do this here since they haven't activated it. No, they can't make the mana. Big mistake by them. So I feel like we can use this insight to discard one of these Rituals of Soot. If we don't have to use the Sinister Sabotage. Risk factor resolves. I'll take the 4 damage. Because we'd be a little worried about something like Banefire. At a certain point. Experimental Frenzy. Well, none of these other cards remove it, so we're going to have to counter it. And I think we do want that. And I don't think we want to go to 3. Oh. We don't need Essence Scatter, though, because we have other answers to creatures. So we actively want them to play a creature now. Or anything that will let us play this Moment of Craving or Vraska's Contempt. And this is great for us. Because if they do have Banefire, you know, this just means they need more land drops. Yeah, interesting build. I mean, the Jaya is the one weirdo. All right. So now we race to win the game. This is like probably Banefire, if I had to guess. But we actually have a line if it is, which is to Contempt our own Teferi to gain 2 life. Which would be very weird, but necessary. Cool. So now they're just going to give us some more life, which is great. Which means I don't have to sweat the Banefire for a few more turns. Or if they do have it, they have to think about using it on Teferi. Okay. No reason to do anything on their turn, or on our turn here. Discard. Yeah, I don't think we're going to use this Ritual of Soot anymore. Cast it down. So unless they have a burn spell, which really actually doesn't even count because we have Sinister Sabotage and Syncopate, they'd have to have Banefire for 7 or some number on the Teferi. Alright, so now we don't have to fear Banefire at all, because we're just going to start removing their mountains. And eventually we'll find our Chromium. I'm not sure how long they'll want to play it out for, but I'm in it if they are. Why does it shift like that? They still haven't fixed that weirdness. Risk factor. I guess the simplest thing to do would be to syncopate this for 6. And then I don't have to worry about either half of it. Alright, they decide to scoop. They're going to be losing 2 lands a turn. Nothing that they play matters. We're at too high of a life total. So yeah. Sympathize with the opponent there. And there we go, 2-0 start. Being red deck both times, which is more or less how we drew it up. Going to game 3 here. Looks like the GP is going into the top 8. Playing Modern, which is a format I've never played, and possibly will never play unless they bring it to Arena. I can only imagine, if they brought it to Arena, how much money would have to be spent to buy into it. And I wonder, I mean, I'm sure they are thinking passively about this all the time, about how to bring those older formats in. This is a really tough one. I think we keep it. The Ritual of Soot and the Sinister Sabotage make me want to keep it. Oh, red deck again. Well, this hand does not really look as good against red as the ones we had before. I mean, this hand looks way worse. We really have to hope that they just have kind of like a mopey start, and that our Sinister Sabotage will be good, and that our Ritual of Soot will be good. But double Teferi, not so good. Oh, this type of red deck. Alright, I'm going to play like this, because I feel like the Sinister Sabotage is probably not so good turn 3. And I want to be able to cast down here, save myself 2 damage, which will make the Ritual of Soot better turn 4. Like, or less desperate, I should say. It obviously doesn't make it better from a card advantage standpoint, but... awkward. But we have to play this now, so the Chapel can come into play untap next turn for Ritual. And we're really just hoping that they have like double 2-drop here. No, they don't. Oh, I was totally wrong. I did want the Sinister Sabotage that turn. Wrong and punished for it. So now the question is, do we Ritual this turn? Probably not. I guess we wait and use this Sinister Sabotage for at least one thing and try to find, like, a Moment of Craving or something like that. Wow, nothing, huh? Oh, we probably lost this. We missequenced, and we got punished for it by the Frenzy. Really not anything more to it than that. That, and we also kept effectively a 5-land hand, or a 5-card hand because of these double Teferis. I guess with 26 lands, I shouldn't be so afraid to mulligan. And we should almost always mulligan as if it's a creature deck that we're going to be up against, because it almost always is. Yeah. And here's where they just like have it all off the top of their deck and we die probably. Well, if they play a creature here, it's possible that we could live a turn. If they have a 3 damage spell, we're not going to live. But we could survive another shock. This is fine while their hand is full. Or while their Experimental Frenzy is in play, I should say. But what's going to happen is they're just going to break this next turn. And for sure they have 2 damage, or they only even need 1 damage off the top, or in their hand. Is there anything that we can draw? I don't think so. Even another gain 2 life is not going to be good enough. Oh, I missed the opportunity to play Search. Not that it matters, but I mean, I guess, look, potentially it could have mattered if they have, like, literally all land or something here and these Sinister Sabotages are good. It would have mattered. This is actually a start towards Sinister Sabotage being good. They didn't break the Frenzy. Don't want that, though. Excuse me. Oh, it mattered. We're not flat dead unless they have Shock on top or another Fanatical Firebrand. Doesn't feel like this does it either. So we'd be flipping Search for Azcanta here. Oh, Moment of Craving is a good one. And Cast Down's okay. And I guess we're just going to leave it all for Syncopate and Cast Down, right? The Syncopate could be good if they spend 4 to destroy this Frenzy. then the Syncopate will probably be an answer to something, but not multiple things. All right, Experimental Frenzy. Vyashino Pyromancer. So the question is, do we go to 1? I guess we Syncopate this and we hope that they just have a creature to follow it up and cast that down. Come on, game. Looks like they have like Lightning Strike or something here. Maybe they were thinking about doing it in response to the Syncopate. It doesn't really matter. They have Wizard's Lightning in response to this. Or Lightning Strike in response to this. Literally any card. They have 6 cards. Okay. They just need to have any card. And they had it. So I don't know that that game would have gone terribly differently if we had gotten that search into play. As it would have run out more or less the same way. We wouldn't have had a lot of free mana to go digging, but more or less that one just came down to our mulligan decision and keeping a hand. That and the sequencing. Letting the Frenzy into play and mis-sequencing our lands. But I was really nervous that we would get too low on life going into the Ritual of Soot turn. They did jam that Frenzy into play with a lot of cards in hand. 3, 4? I think 3. No, maybe it was lower because we did let them draw 3 with the risk factor. Wow, another 1-lander. What is going on? Yeah, we keep this with search, and we hope that search helps us get there. We hope that this will land on top too. So weird. It's so weird that you play like the 18 land decks and you just never get a 1-land hand, and you play 26 and it's serving you 1-land hands. Wow. All red deck. Land drop is good. So all we want to do is find removal. And eventually we're going to get ahead of them. Don't want another. So I guess here we want them to play a creature, and then we're going to clean it all up with Ritual of Soot. This is perfect. We don't take too much damage. We're actually at a relatively healthy 15. We want that card. This is the play pattern we're looking for. So we 3-for-1 them. We're up on land. I mean, we're always going to be up on land in this matchup. We got Moment of Craving to buy us some life. Now I think we graveyard this because we need land. And here we probably want to use the Vraska's Contempt just for efficiency reasons. Next turn, if we draw a land, we can play both Chemister's Insight and Moment of Craving in the same turn. Obviously, holding the Vraska's Contempt for an eventual Phoenix would be good, but they're at least 2 turns away from Phoenix, and hopefully we'll find an answer to it between Search and Insight. We're still at a pretty healthy life total here. Alright, so we'll let this resolve. They attack us for 1. And we'll play Insight. Great. And we'll Craving this. Go back to 10. All right, so we're actually going to graveyard this, flip the search. Find another one. Try to tell me that's not a bug. How could all my Drowned Catacombs be grouped together like that? All right, take one down to 9. At the end of their turn, go searching. We'll take Disdainful Stroke. And throw away this land for 2 new ones. This gives them a chance to burn us for 3 for free if they want. Looks like they're going to go for it. Oh, just 2. Oh, 5. All right, well, all of that was happening anyways. Do this before it untaps. If it untaps, then they have a chance to sacrifice it and fizzle my spell. Not good. E2 Lava Runner. Cast down. All right, and we're just going to take 2 cards here rather than spin the wheel. All right, so now here we go. We're in turbo mode. We have Disdainful Stroke and Syncopate. I mean, it's honestly worth doing this. All right, we're going to take the raw number of cards again here. All right, Chromium is decent. I think we're going to look. I should have plus first in case I drew an untapped land. E2 Lava Runner. You can sabotage that, syncopate the other play if they have one. I mean, these syncopates are insane against them on 3 land. I'm not going to do anything at the end of turn because I don't want to give them a window to deal 3 to me. Our life total is that low at this point. All right, well, look. Let's take the Moment of Craving. We're sitting at a solid 7 here. All right, Firebrand resolves. They're attacking with it. That's bizarre. 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, now I'm okay with them hitting us for 3 if they want, because we can just close out the game really quickly with this Chromium. Take the cast down. Experimental Frenzy. They know we have this Disdainful Stroke, so now we'll use it. Yeah. So next turn, we ult Teferi, we remove all their lands with Chemister's Insight, and attack them for 7. Alright, so 3-1 against red deck. We only played against red deck, which is kind of aggravating, but also shows that this is the type of deck that maybe is very good in this particular event structure. So that's going to be it for this one. We played 4 of them, so hopefully we can get 4 wins in the next video and get to 7. That would be crazy. I mean, crazy good. Not crazy like I can't believe it, because getting to 7 wins is not that unusual, I guess. So yeah, that's it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. Please leave a comment. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a like if you want to be a friend on the internet. And that's it for this one. We'll be back again soon with the second half.